Hello, it's Dr. Darnese, and welcome back into the Lifestyle Channel. Listen, I really just wanted to come on kind of quickly here and just offer a word of encouragement. These times are hard. These times are challenging for us. And I just wanted to say to us as Black women, like, listen, I know that many of us have fallen under that category of 300,000 Black women who have lost jobs in one way or another. And that's challenging enough as it is. But many of us are um, in our 40s and 50s, and that adds an additional challenge to when you have been let go, fired, whatever job has gone away. And now you have to try to figure out what you're going to do now. Who are you and what are you going to do now? And so I have been in this space for a while now. I would say it's been about 2.5 years where I have not been in my role as a full-time professor. And I've been, sort of picking up some of my creative entrepreneur gigs and whatever, and, making it work. Um, and for me, I guess I've been doing that for so long, even when I was teaching full time. I was always coaching, I was always writing, I was always doing my things. So when I was no longer full time teaching, I kind of slid into those more. But I know that a lot of people, a lot of women in this age range, 40s and 50s, are like, what am I going to do? Right? Especially when you're in your 50s. Like I just had a birthday and I'm 58, y'all, if you want to know. I'm 58. And it's not what we expected to be in our 50s, especially late 50s, and to be technically unemployed, right? Again, you might have a lot of creative things, you might have your own business, you might be aspiring to create your own business and step into that. But to be at this place that's sort of kind of near retirement, but you're like, I can't retire because I still am in my working years, can't afford to retire. I still need my health care benefits. I still got people to take care of. If it's, older children, if it's your parents, somebody you got to take care of. So you need some, substantial income. And so I just really wanted to come on and say, well, listen, now is the time to lean into your creativity and your authenticity. And I know I say that a lot on this channel, and this channel is about, the uplift of Black women. And so I want to offer this word of encouragement to say these things may have happened to you, or maybe something else going on in your life that is challenging. But I want to say, don't fall into the mindset that, oh, it's too late, or I can't do anything. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm, depressed, or I'm, sort of paralyzed by fear and uncertainty, despair. Like, don't fall into despair. I would offer that you take this as an opportunity and say, wow, what if this is an opportunity? What if this crisis is an opportunity? What would I actually like to be doing with my time? Am I trying to rush out there and get another job? Because I was doing that, right? I was doing that. Like, let me just get another academic, teaching job or whatever. And in so many ways, those doors were closed. Just, and I mean, things that I clearly should have had, right? Just clearly. I have over 20 years of experience as an academic, as a professor and higher education administration. I've been doing this for a long time, okay? And I have all the degrees and credentials. So I'm like, what is going on? And so I asked the question, well, what else? What is the opportunity here? Maybe God, the universe is really moving me along where I need to be and closing some doors that, like, let that go. So I ask you, what are the things that maybe you need to let go at this big age, right? If you may be an older millennial or Gen X like myself, or maybe you're a young boomer, maybe in your early 60s, and you still feel active, you still anticipated having another 5 years, another 7 years in the workforce, and you're like, well, what am I to do now? Well, you are going to pivot, you're going to reset. And one of the things that I'm doing, I'm going to share with you, like I said, doors were just closing. So pay attention if that's what's happening. Are the doors closing? No matter what you do, you like, what is going on? So if the doors are closed, what else is there? Where's the open window? Where is the open door? Where is the open pathway? Where is the yes? If you're in a season of no, in many ways, how do I get to the season of yes? And maybe you need to take time and rest, right? Maybe you need to take time, chill out, and just allow yourself to have a break. And then say, okay, well, you know what? I've always wanted to have a block of time where I could just relax and do me. I've wanted to do this for so long, but I was always so busy. What would it look like if you were doing your thing? Okay, so here's what I'm doing now. Many of y'all know that I wrote this book. I wrote a few books, but this book, 40 something, 10 radical lessons for women on how to live, love without losing themselves. Okay, so 40 something, and I guess it's a little shameless plug right now. So people who've read this book have told me that it has been very impactful for them because I take you through some of my personal stories about how I came to basically grow, how I came through difficult and challenging circumstances, how I went through times in which I felt like I was losing myself, either in my career or in my romantic relationships. I was overgiving, doing all the things, right? Overdoing to the point, you look up and you're exhausted and resentful because you've been doing so much for other people. And so I wrote this book out of that place, right? And because I was coaching so many women who were in that space of overgiving and trying to get themselves back, trying to get to authenticity, trying to find themselves, right? And people think, okay, well, you're 40 something. Why are you trying to find yourself at 40 something? You're supposed to do that in your 20s. Well, you do it again in your 40s, right? Because a lot of stuff is moving around, a lot of moving parts. A lot of things tend to shift in your 40s. A lot of things tend to shift, go away. Kids get older. They don't need you like they once did. People get divorced. People get remarried. This goes away. People, whatever. And then you end up with the question, well, who am I really and what do I want now? And those are the questions I always ask my coaching clients. Who are you and what do you want now? Right? And so, since I wrote this book, people have been asking me about 50 something. And I'm like, oh, I don't know that I have it in me to write 50 something. Or it hasn't quite manifested how I'm going to write 50 something. What will be the overarching theme of it? Here I am, as I said, 58. If it ain't coming by now, when is it coming? Well, I do have some ideas about it because people literally have been asking me, like, I really appreciate how much you shared and how much it helped. And I want 50 something because now people are 50 something. Or what can I look forward to? Or how can I position myself? If you are just 40 now or 40 something, how do I position myself better for 50 something? So I am going to be sharing more of 50 something on Substack. So I have a new Substack, not quite ready yet, but I'm going to make it live shortly. Like, what is it? This month is the goal, like in the next couple of weeks, to make the Substack um, live and available for folks. And so what I want to do really is connect, so to speak, my YouTube videos and my Substack, where I'm really doing the 50 something, sort of working out what 50 something will be. So there'll be a lot of writing about being Gen X, being 50 something, being a creative entrepreneur, right? For those of us who are creative entrepreneurs, we're looking for a way to do the thing that you've always wanted to do. Whether an entrepreneur, you want to start that catering business, you want to open whatever kind of retail store it was, you want to write, you want to paint, you want to do whatever it is, right? Crafts, whatever you've been wanting to do, but you don't know how, or maybe you have a mindset issue where you don't think anybody will buy from you and all of that stuff, right? So I'm going to be guiding you through that process, both on the channel here and in my Substack writings. And ultimately, I'm going to pull together the teachings that I give from YouTube and from Substack and write 50 something. So that's really the plan at this point. Is that was the aha moment that I had, because I'm like, where is 50 something? Why are other people asking me for it? I'm like, yeah, God, where? And so it finally just dropped into my spirit, like, well, why don't you just work? Why don't you just write pieces of it? And I was like, oh, because with 40 something, I really had a clear vision. I was going to sit down and write it. Not to say that I wrote it from beginning to end in one, thing, one session, certainly not. It took me almost all of my 40s to write it, but I was focused on, doing it chapter by chapter in a very linear form. And, it just took me a long time to write it because I was still living it, come to find out, right? I was still living it. And so I always felt like it was unfinished. And so I just wasn't releasing it to the world until I felt like it was finished. And so that's why that took so long. But anyway, 50 something looks like it's not going to be written in the same way. It is not going to be where I sit down and just start at chapter one and do the thing. It's going to be written as I live it, but it's going to be a work in progress. And as I say that, I'm reminded of Maxwell. So y'all know Maxwell. He's my favorite. He's my favorite. But it takes him a long time to release an album, like him and Sade. Like, what y'all be doing? Yeah, what you be doing? That's gonna be like 10 years between albums. And I heard him say he has to live it before he can write those songs, or before he feels comfortable releasing songs, because maybe he wrote a song, a year ago, and then he performs in it, or he sings it or records it or something. It doesn't feel right or true anymore. So then he, I guess, throws it away or puts it in his archive or whatever. It doesn't feel right anymore. So just as I say that, I'm like, I guess that's where I've been to. I can understand Maxwell. When I want the next album, right? Why be taking you so long? But I can kind of understand when he says, I really have to live it, and then and it has to feel authentic before I release it. And that's what the deal is. That's what it was with 40 something. It had to feel authentic before I could release it. And with 50 something, it had to feel authentic before I could even start. It turns out I couldn't even start it until it felt right. And I think, considering the challenges that we have in life now, I can see why the book that I start writing now will be very different had I started writing it when I was 52, for example. Any earlier than this, it would have been entirely different. And I have really learned a lot here in these 50s. So anyway, I just want to come on and share with you what's going on, to continually uplift us as Black women, and to say, stuff is going on, but keep your head up. Keep your head up. Find some creative outlets. Find your authenticity. That is really the most important thing, is for you to be living from a space of authenticity, not chronically in reactive mode to all this stuff going on, because that overwhelms our nervous system and makes us anxious and stressed, right? Like, we can't live watching the news every day, because those people they're intentionally doing that to us. I think at this point we can see that they're intentionally, pulling at our nervous system and trying to just wear us out. And so, you can't do that. You've got to circle the wagons and do your self-care and realize, like, you know what, I gotta tend to myself, and I gotta think about, what do I actually want to create for myself, regardless of what these people are doing in the White House or in the government. That can't be my whole, that can't have all my focus and attention. Who am I? What do I want now? So, maybe you want to journal. Who am I and what do I want now? So if y'all want to leave me some comments, I would appreciate that. Anyway, we're on this journey together, and I'll be back here with more, and I will include the link to my Substack. And my website, because my new website is being worked on as well, and that will be focusing more on my fiction writing. I didn't even mention that lately, but I am working on a novel. And so My website will be, that's where you'll find more of the things I'm doing as a novel writer, and Substack more of my self-help and personal development kind of stuff. So, yeah, I got a lot of new stuff coming. Yeah, so leave me some comments. Let me know what you're up to. Bye for now.